There are souls in this universe that burn not with light, but with depth. They do not shimmer, they hypnotize. They do not speak loudly, they echo in the silence of your spirit. These souls are born under the sign of Scorpio, the cosmic alchemist, the emotional priestess, the guardian of what is sacred and unseen. To love a Scorpio is to step through a doorway that leads into the soulless underworld, where truth does not hide and passion becomes prayer. Scorpio is not just a sign. It is a transformation, a ritual, a blessing whispered into the bloodstream of the zodiac. It is not here to impress. It is here to awaken. In this journey, you will discover 25 divine reasons why Scorpio is a cosmic treasure. Each reason will reveal a layer of intensity, of love, of silent strength. Prepare yourself, because once you enter the Scorpio world, you will not leave unchanged. 25. The soul that sees beyond words. A Scorpio does not listen merely to what is said. They hear what is felt beneath the tone of your voice, behind the flicker in your eyes. Within the spaces between your silence, they perceive the truth. It is not guessing. It is knowing. Scorpio carries a built-in emotional radar, an almost psychic sensitivity to hidden feelings. In love, this creates a bond so intimate, so rare, it feels telepathic. You do not need to explain your pain to a Scorpio. They have already felt it before you found the words. This makes them dangerous to liars and a sanctuary to the broken. And that is divine. 24. The passion that burns like sacred fire. Scorpio does not love gently. They love like a storm baptized in fire. Their passion is not a fleeting flame. It is a sacred fire that consumes, heals, and transforms. When they choose someone, they do so with their entire being. The kiss of a Scorpio is not physical alone. It is emotional, spiritual, and vibrational. It leaves fingerprints on your soul. Their touch awakens every hidden hunger you never knew you carried. This kind of love is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those ready to be reborn. 23. The loyalty that feels like destiny. Scorpio is fiercely loyal, not out of obligation, but out of sacred bond. When they choose you, it is not casual. It is fate. It is covenant. They guard your secrets like a priest, your fears like a soldier, and your dreams like a lover who believes in forever. Betrayal wounds them deeply, not because they are weak, but because they offered something pure. In a world full of fleeting loyalties, Scorpio stands as a divine example of soul-bound devotion. They do not let go easily, and that is a rare and holy thing. 22. The mystery that awakens desire. There is something about Scorpio that you cannot define, and yet you crave it. It is in the way they look at you as if they are seeing lifetimes. It is in their silence that feels louder than words. It is in their stillness that makes your heart race. Scorpio does not need to speak to be heard. Their energy does the talking. This aura of mystery is not an act. It is who they are, sacred, private, profound. To touch a Scorpio's heart is to unravel a sacred code of desire. And once you do, you will never forget the feeling. 21. The emotional depth that drowns all superficiality. Scorpio does not swim in shallow waters. They are the ocean floor, dark, endless, mysterious, and full of treasures unseen by ordinary eyes. They are not interested in surface-level conversations or polite small talk. They crave the real. The raw, the wounded, the beautiful mess of your authentic self. In relationships, this makes them feel like home to those who are tired of pretending. With Scorpio, your soul can exhale. Because finally, someone does not run away from depth. They dive into it with you. 20. The power to rebirth themselves. And you, Scorpio, is ruled by Pluto, the planet of death and transformation. But this is not a curse. It is their divine gift. They are masters of reinvention. They rise from betrayal. They rise from heartbreak. They rise from ruins. And they help others do the same. If you are close to a Scorpio during your darkest hour, you will witness their power. They will not offer false hope. They will offer sacred fire. And through that fire, you will both be changed. They are not just lovers or friends. Their soul rabii are THERS.19. The eyes that hold secrets and stars. There is something ancient in the eyes of a Scorpio. A silence. A knowing. 1,000 lifetimes folded behind one gaze. Their stare is not meant to intimidate. It is meant to awaken. It pierces through ego, through charm, through masks. And in that stare, you will either feel utterly exposed or deeply understood. Sometimes both. The eyes of a Scorpio are not ordinary. They are portals. And once they have looked into you, you will carry that memory forever. 18. The truth teller in a world of masks, Scorpio cannot lie to themselves, and they rarely lie to others. They are brutally honest, sometimes painfully so, but always authentically. They have no time for illusions. They want the truth, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. In relationships, this makes them powerful partners. They call you out not to break you, but to help you rise. Their truth is medicine. It may sting, but it will cleanse you. Scorpio is not here to make you comfortable. They are here to make you real. 17. The healer who uses pain as power. Many Scorpios have walked through emotional hell. And somehow, they emerged as healers. They do not speak of healing in abstract terms. They know the taste of darkness, and that is why their light is trustworthy. They use their own pain as a bridge to your suffering. They sit with you in the fire because they know what it means to burn and still survive. In love, they do not rescue, they resurrect. And that is a divine gift not many possess. 16. The sacred keeper of secrets. Tell a Scorpio your truth, and it will stay sealed. They do not gossip. They do not weaponize your vulnerability. They hold your wounds with reverence, as if they are something holy. In a world where privacy is rare and betrayal is common, Scorpio is your fortress. Your secrets are safe not just because they are loyal, but because they understand the sacredness of what is unspoken. This makes them the emotional vault of the Zodiac, trusted, silent, sacred. 15. The aura that feels like a spell. There is something about Scorpio energy that feels like a spell, slow, intoxicating, inescapable. You do not fall for them, you sink. You unravel. Their presence lingers long after they leave the room. In love, they do not chase, they magnetize. They attract not through effort, but through essence. Their aura is not crafted. It is divine. When you meet a Scorpio, you will feel it. And you will never forget that feeling because it was not ordinary. It was alchemy. 14. The warrior spirit cloaked in stillness. Scorpio may appear calm, but within them lives a storm. A silent warrior. They do not boast, but they endure. They do not scream, but they survive. When life throws chaos, they do not collapse, they calculate. In relationships, they become protectors, not with noise, but with presence. They will shield you, stand beside you, fight for you, not through dramatic gestures, but through unwavering presence. Their strength is not loud. It is legendary. 13. The intuition that whispers before the storm, before the fall, before the betrayal, before the secret is revealed, the Scorpio already knows. Their intuition is not based on logic. It is soul sense. A whisper from something ancient within. In love, they can feel shifts before you speak. They sense when you are distant. They know when something is off. And because they trust their gut, they are often the first to walk away when the soul says leave. This gives them a psychic protection many others wish they had. 12. The empath who feels what you hide. There is no hiding from a Scorpio. Not truly. You may smile, but if you're hurting, they will feel it. You may laugh, but if your soul is shaking, they will sense it. Their empathy is not soft, it is surgical. It cuts to the root. And because of this, they are both feared and adored. In love, this makes them the most emotionally present partner. They love you not just for who you show, but for who you are when no one is watching. 11. The lover who awakens your wild. Scorpio love is not tame. It is not predictable. It is not polite. It is wild, sacred, and ancient. They do not just touch your body, they awaken your primal self. They make you remember who you were before the world made you small. In their presence, you rediscover your hunger, your edge, your raw, unscripted beauty. Scorpio does not just love you. They initiate you into your own PowerPoint 1.0. The power to endure what others cannot. Scorpio is forged in fire and silence. When others shatter under pressure, Scorpio transforms. When others flee the darkness, Scorpio makes it a home. This is not because they enjoy pain. It is because they understand it. They do not run from the storm. They become the storm and then walk through it with grace and quiet fire. In relationships, this makes them pillars. If you are falling apart, Scorpio will not abandon you. They will sit beside you, hold space for your collapse, and gently gather your pieces, even when you cannot speak. Their strength is not performative. It is rooted in soul. And when the world feels too heavy, Scorpio reminds you it is survivable. You are not alone. 9. The silent alchemist of emotion. Most people manage emotions. Scorpio transforms them. They take shame and turn it into wisdom. They take heartbreak and turn it into purpose. They take fear and turn it into intuition. This is alchemy, the sacred art of turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. Scorpio does not drown in emotion. They dive into its darkest depths, retrieve its hidden power, and rise stronger in love. This gives them the ability to transmute their partner's pain as well. They become mirrors, reflecting not just your wounds, but the strength within them. Loving a Scorpio is a spiritual initiation. They do not heal you by fixing you. They heal you by walking through your fire beside you. 8. The emotional mirror of the soul. To be loved by a Scorpio is to be seen fully, ruthlessly, and tenderly. They do not settle for surface. They reflect your hidden parts, your unspoken fears, and your divine potential. And while this may be uncomfortable, it is also liberating. Because in their presence, you stop hiding. You start feeling. You start remembering. In relationships, this trait makes them unforgettable. Their love breaks your masks. Their truth rewrites your narrative. They do not love what is easy, they love what is real. And once you have been loved this deeply, all shallow connections feel empty. They do not just reflect your soul, they call it home. 7. The seductive priestess of transformation. There is something deeply sacred about Scorpio's sensuality. It is not just physical. It is energetic, emotional, ancestral. They are not seductive in a performance. They are seductive in presence. They move slowly, speak with depth, touch with intention. And this energy awakens parts of you that were once dormant. In love, they do not chase moments, they create rituals. Every glance becomes a prayer. Every kiss becomes a spell. Every silence becomes a vow. They are the priest or priestess of emotional intimacy, and their love becomes a temple where only the brave dare to enter, but those who do are never the same again. 6. The guardian of sacred boundaries. Scorpio knows the cost of giving too much. That is why they protect their space with intensity. Their boundaries are not walls, they are gates. And those gates only open to the sincere, the real, and the spiritually ready. In relationships, this makes them selective, not because they are cold, but because they value energy. They have been drained before. They have been betrayed. And now, they do not let just anyone touch their soul. If they let you in, it means you passed every unspoken test. You were felt, not just seen. And that makes their love not just a choice, but a spiritual invitation. 5. The lover who creates emotional safety in a chaotic world. Scorpio becomes your emotional anchor. Their presence says, you are safe here. You do not need to perform. You do not need to hide. This is one of their most sacred powers, to make you feel seen, accepted, and emotionally held. Scorpio understands that true intimacy is not built on constant pleasure, but on safety in the storm. When you cry, they do not flinch. When you share your secrets, they lean closer. When you fall apart, they do not judge, they gather your pieces with reverence. This emotional safety transforms love from a fleeting romance into a sanctuary. When a Scorpio loves you, you feel it in your nervous system, in the quiet moments, in the healing silence, in the way your soul begins to breathe again. 4. The touch that awakens the soul. Scorpio's touch is not physical alone. It is spiritual electricity. When they kiss you, it feels like lifetimes collapsing into one moment when they hold you. It feels like being remembered by the universe. Their sensuality is sacred, intentional, and deeply connective. They do not rush, they do not perform, they feel. Every moment of intimacy with them becomes a ceremony. The way they look at you, the way they move with you, the way they stay present, it creates a kind of ecstasy that goes beyond the body. They touch not just your skin, but your history, your heartache, your hidden desires. Their intimacy awakens your soul. It teaches you that connection is not about conquest, it is about communion. 3. The magnetic presence that changes you. Scorpio does not enter your life quietly. They arrive like a storm, not to destroy, but to shift the energy around you. Something about them changes you, even if they never speak. It is their gaze, their silence, their unapologetic truth. You feel it the moment they walk into the room. People turn. Time slows. The atmosphere shifts. And you do not know why. You just know something has arrived that cannot be ignored. In love, this magnetism becomes even more intense. You find yourself unraveling, confessing, desiring, transforming, simply by being near them. Their presence awakens something ancient within you. It is as if your soul says, there you are, and once you have felt it, you search for it in everyone else, but never quite find it again. 2. The spiritual lover who loves with soul, not ego. Scorpio does not love from the surface. They do not need control. They do not seek performance. They love from the soul, fiercely, purely, and without filter. When they fall, it is not casual. It is cosmic. They feel your essence. Not your mask. They want your heart, not your image. In relationships, this gives their love a sacred dimension. They do not love you because it is easy. They love you because their soul has met yours before. Because something ancient in them remembers something eternal in you. Their love strips away illusion. It breaks ego. It heals inner wounds. It brings both of you back to truth. Back to soul. Back to the divine. Their love is not just romantic. It is spiritual resurrection. 1. The phoenix soul, born to burn, rise, and transform all it touches. The most divine and unforgettable blessing of Scorpio is not in what they love, but in how they resurrect. Scorpio is the sign of the phoenix, the mythical creature that dies in flames only to rise again, brighter, bolder, more sacred. This is not a metaphor. This is their life story. They do not fear endings. They live them. They have loved and lost, burned and been betrayed, shattered and left in silence, and yet, from each pain, they have risen. Not just alive, but alight. Transformed, purified, reborn. This ability to rise from ashes is not selfish. It is sacred. Because Scorpio does not just transform themselves, they awaken transformation in you. Their presence whispers to the broken places in your soul, you can begin again. Their love teaches you that ruin is not the end. That heartbreak is not a curse. That darkness is not something to fear, but to walk through together. They love like the phoenix burns, all-consuming, luminous, and eternal. And even if you leave their life, you will carry the fire they lit in your soul. Because once a Scorpio touches your spirit, you are never the same again. You have seen what it means to die and rise in love. Scorpio is not just a sign. Scorpio is a rebirth. Scorpio is not a sign you simply understand. It is a sign you feel deeply, endlessly, spiritually. It lives in the shadow and the light, in the ache of longing and the ecstasy of truth. To love a Scorpio is to step into a sacred fire and come out transformed. Every one of these 25 blessings is a mirror to something eternal. A truth that most hide, But Scorpio lives boldly, without apology. They remind us that love should be honest. That depth is beautiful. That pain can become power. And that the soul is not something to protect, it is something to reveal. If this journey moves something within you, if you're a Scorpio, love a Scorpio, or have been changed by one, then you already know. This energy is not temporary. It is timeless. For more sacred stories, deep soul readings, and the hidden wisdom of the Zodiac, return to this space. Let your spirit rest, reflect, and rise with us. This is Zodiac Xposed, where the stars speak and the soul listens.